Hi students, very good morning to all. Today we are going to continue the last video's concept, nothing but partial order planning. So there we discussed up to the 4 points, and after completed that already I said there is an example for partial order planning. So that example point we are going to discuss today. It's nothing but example for partial order planning, shortly called as POP, partial order planning. So that example is nothing but the spare tire problem. Spare tire problem means, for example, so we have a car, the car may compulsory have spare tire. So what are the tires equipped with the car apart from that four? Additionally, one of the tire is given as a spare. So the spare tire problem today we are going to discuss as an example for partial order planning. Why? Because means for spare tire whether there is also a 2 point. The spare tire in the car may be good or maybe it became flat. So two things are there. If it is a good, then we can keep in the car. If it is a flat, means we want to repair it and we want to make it ready for the regular use. So for that, what are the actions we are performing? So for that, they given the problem statement is the goal is to have a good spare tire properly mounted on the car's axle where the initial state has a flat tire on the axle and a good spare tire in the trunk. So this is the problem statement what they are given. The goal is a good spare tire properly mounted on the car axle. This is the goal. But for that, what is the initial? Initial is the flat tire on the axle and a good spare tire in the trunk. So the tire is flat, but it is in a good condition. It is good in the trunk. So that is the concept statement given for this spare tire problem. Then what are the actions we are performing? There are just four different actions we are performing. What are those? So that means what is the point they are given? The spare tire is good in the trunk, but it is flat. That means it may got punctured. So what are the actions we want to make here is first one, remove the spare from the trunk. So when you want, if it is a flat, if it is a puncture, means you want to remove it first. Then first point, first action is remove the spare from the trunk. So trunk is the tire axle trunk. Then next remove the flat tire from the axle. So we are removing from the axle. Then third point is putting the spare on the axle. After completed and find out the puncture and complete it, make it neatly, and then we want to put into the axle. Then again leaving the car unattended overnight. After completed that one, leaving the car unattended. That means we may not use the car over that night for checking whether it is working properly or not. So these are the four actions we need to perform in this problem. Then what are those things? Simple flat tire description. So it is given here. So a small algorithm, same points are repeated again and again. So initially what is the condition? And flat comma axle. So already we discussed in the actions, flat comma axle and spare comma trunk. So spare in the trunk and it is also a flat in the axle. Okay, what is the goal? So a spare in the axle. Then what are the actions we want to perform? Already we discussed four different actions. These are those four different actions. First one, remove spare, comma trunk, and remove flat from the axle and put on spare, comma axle. And what is the last one? Leave overnight. The four conditions are performing here. So for those, the what is the precondition and what is the effects are given here. So what are the actions we have taken? Those actions will be explained here. That's all. Then sequence of events for flat tires. So what are the sequence of actions we want to perform? It is going to discuss here. Nearly 7 points are there. So one by one we will discuss. So first what we want to do, pick the only open preconditions. First we want to pick the open preconditions. What are those conditions? At spare comma axle or finished. So choose the only applicable actions. Put on spare comma actions. So if you take this one, spare comma actions means what is this action? When we can perform after removed and completed, then only for put on spare comma actions. There only we are performing these open conditions. So the next one is, so just whatever the puncture concept we know, the same thing will be given in the sequential order. So first pick the spare comma ground precondition of put on spare comma axle. So if you want to put on spare comma axle, first what you want to do, you want to remove that one. So what is the precondition for that? Spare comma ground. That means after removed it is placed in the ground only. So choose the only applicable action. Remove spare comma trunk. So if you want to put the axle means first we want to remove. So if you want to do this one, we want to use this precondition. So first remove the spare from the trunk to be achieved. So first we want to remove from the trunk. After that we want to remove from the axle. So resulting plan. So first we want to start. So before start what we want to do? We want to remove the spare from the trunk, from actual point. So it is attached to in the car in the trunk. So first we want to remove from there. Afterwards we want to remove the spare from the axle, and afterwards we want to prepare it for perfect usage. Then we want to put on spare in the axle and finally finished. So third point, pick the negation at, that means flat comma axle. So where the tire became axle flat means in the axle. So precondition of put on spare comma axle. For this condition, this is precondition. Precondition. So maybe flat or may not be flat. That's why we given the negation here. Then what is that? Just to be contrary, choose the leave overnight action rather than removing flat comma axle actions. So the opposite to this removing the flat tire from the axle is, so don't remove that one, leave overnight. So check whether it is properly working or not. So when the tire is running, we may not check the puncture concept. So only when you leave it in the overnight, then we can find out whether it got any problem or not. So the negation represents this one, opposite is. Then the leave overnight also has the effect negation of at spare ground, which means it conflicts that the casual link. So what is this? Remove spare comma trunk at spare ground. So put on spare comma axle. So if you want to perform this one, you want to remove the tire from this. If you want to remove means you want to achieve the spare must be in the ground. So all these concept, that means A achieved P for B. So to do this one is before completing this one, it is achieved in that one. So if you want to put the spare in the axle, you first of all we want to remove the spare from the trunk and you must be put it on the ground. So if you want to satisfy this condition, then this is the third point. So when you want to start, leave overnight. That means before, after removed or before removed, whatever it may be, leave that one. So then we can find out whether it is a flat or it may be any clearance. Then again put the spare in the axle and finish the concept. So both conditions may be takes place. Then what is the fourth point? The only remaining open preconditions at this point is at spare comma trunk, precondition of action remove spare comma trunk. So for this action the precondition is the spare must be in the trunk. If it is must be in the trunk means then only we can remove the spare from the trunk. So the only action that can achieve it is the existing start action. But the casual link from start to remove spare trunk is in conflict with the negation of what spare trunk effect of leave overnight concept. So this is nothing but just a puncture concept. So for that, according to our concept, to giving number of points to that is the discussion going on here. So at this time, there is no way to resolve the conflicts with leave over time. So we cannot order it before start because nothing can come before start. So, for example, if you want to put the puncture concept for the tire, before starting the concept, whether it is punctured or anything, you can't do anything. That's why before of starting, nothing is there. And cannot order it after removing the spare comma trunk. And we cannot order anything after removal. That means remove the tire from, or spare from the trunk means it is already damaged because there is already a constraint ordering it before remove spare comma trunk. So that means already it is damaged, that's why only we are removing that tire. Then what we want to do? So we are forced to back up, remove the leave overnight action and the last two casual links and return to the previous states. So that means if you are find out the compulsory got any problem means then we want to force up to remove from the trunk and we also force to remove the action called leave overnight action because it is already fixed. That's why we no need to use to leave the tire to check or affect this action leave overnight concept. So if it is compulsory, it is cleared, it is got problem means or remove from the spare from the trunk means we can remove this leave overnight concept. Then sixth point is consider again the negation of flat comma axle precondition of put on spare comma axle. So negation of for this concept the precondition is this one. This time we choose remove flat comma axle. So so this is the point. So once again pick the spare comma trunk precondition of removing spare comma trunk and choose start to achieve it. This time there are no conflicts. So so up to that the conflicts may be there. From this point there is no conflicts because if you want to find out it is a flat means first what we want to do? We want to remove the spare from the trunk. After removed then what we can check? We can remove that flat tire from the axle. So there is no confusion from this point. Then pick the flat comma axle precondition of remove flat from the axle and choose start to achieve it. So after remove the tire or a punctured tire from the axle, then we can start our goal, start our action to achieve the goal. So what is that? We are preparing that one, and then finally we are attached to that and live overnight. So that is the complete consistent diagram is given here. So to start puncturing, first we can whether we can go in two directions, remove the spare from the axle or remove the flat tire from the axle, and after done these things then we are checked and prepared to put on. So put on spare comma axle and finally we achieve the goal. So this is the concept of example for partial order planning. So always we have partial ordering in two ways, whether we can go in this direction or whether we can go in this direction. Finally if you go in any way we are achieving the goal. So that is the concept of partial order planning. This concept or this example is nothing but just assume in our car we have an additional spare tire is there. So if it is proper means what we want to do. If it is not proper means what we want to do. So that is the concept explained here. Thank you.